How's things for you, man? You good?
Yeah, I am actually really good. Yeah, starting to get busy again, which
Yeah,
is feels weirdly normal while also being massively alien.
yeah. I was going to say today's a big day because, of course, as you put it, after 18 months of absolute nothingness, you're back playing a gig on Thursday night. This is big. This is the first gig in Ireland since the pandemic, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's as far as I mean, I think there were like little shows last year, like 40, 50 cap things, but
Mhm.
in the grand scheme of things, this is it. This is they've given me the rare opportunity slash most stressful job in the world right now of like carrying the shoulders of like an entire industry back into something. So yeah, for show. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
500 people.
Yeah, 500 people, which like again is not a lot of people in the grand scheme of things for me, but like 500 people is like 10 times the amount of people that have been allowed to gather in the last year and a half. So it's huge,
It's crazy.
crazy.
The emotions must be running so high right now, thinking about it.
Yeah, like everybody that works with me and for me have been like absolutely. I mean, we like this was being worked on for probably like 3 4 weeks behind the scenes, and it was like so nebulous whether it would happen or not. Like it was
Mm,
confirmed, it was pushed back, it was supposed to be one date then another. So I honestly got to a point where I didn't think it was going to happen. I just assumed at some point someone would show up and be like, "Oh, actually, these numbers here suggest that this is not a safe idea,"
yeah.
and they would just kill it. But yeah, Friday afternoon we got a call and saying, "Yeah, you're 100% ready to go." Like 3 hours later, I was on the 9 o'clock news talking about it. Like it's strange, and everybody's just like over the moon, like so emotional. This is like it's hard to talk about like when you're a musician and you're in it and you know this thing that gets taken away from you, and everybody last year we were all in the same boat where we were like we're in this together. But as that became less and less true, as other industries opened up or some other industries thrived in the situation, like the owners of Zoom are thriving, so like there's loads of it. Like it became harder and harder for me especially to watch everybody around me who relied so much on music playing live, not just financially, but even just like culturally, spiritually, whatever it was. So we're all like overjoyed, like unbelievably overjoyed. It's like Christmas. It's like a
Yeah.
million Christmases.
It's going to be an absolute moment. It's going to be so good. And obviously, you're up
Yeah.
here early next year. You're coming up to Belfast playing Limelight April 21st to have the date there. Tickets on sale now. Always a good
Yeah.
in Belfast, James.
Yeah, listen, my first shows were in like the spring and air break in Belfast. Like I remember
Wow.
someone gave me a bunch of supports up there when I was just starting out. It's like it's always been somewhere that I've genuinely loved. Don't get to play very often, and we've had to push these shows so many times and change venues so many times. I think we
Yeah.
eventually like we're like, here's a date, we can get the line. So like it just yeah, it's been a while, but it's always been amazing. Like genuinely awesome to be up there and playing.
Yeah. And those all those
Yeah.
first shows back, that first tier back, it's going to be special regardless, isn't it?
Yeah, like who knows what to expect. I don't know what to expect next week. Like it's been a year and a half since I've played, and this is obviously the emotions of this are obviously heightened, and I
Yeah.
think that will carry into next year as well. It's gonna we crashed like every computer system this morning with the ticket
I've
sale. Like
seen
there was
that.
only 500 tickets. It literally before it even started, the system broke. I think they had like 50 or 60,000 people trying to get 500 tickets.
Wow.
That speaks to just how much people want to get back to seeing live music, not
Yeah.
just seeing me, just seeing music in general. And I'm the same. I'm never going to take this for granted again. And I'm never
Yeah.
like I'll show up to anything. If someone hits me up and is like, I'm playing a shed, I'll be at that shed watching the music. I'm a changed person.
It's going to be great. Let's talk about new
Yeah.
music again. Obviously, Paradise on the surface,
Yeah.
big, uplifting, feel good track. Sounds great in the summer. The children's choir in the background, everything about it is brilliant. It runs a wee bit deeper the track though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, like lyrically, I've always like gone on the darker side of the line. And I think the album in general is more about chaos and trying to embrace it and trying not to run from it. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe for me personally, anyway, like I've always just sort of thought at some point I would be a grown up that thought consistent thought, or I don't know, figured something out. And I've never figured anything out. And I think trying to bring that chaos to an album was something that I very much wanted to do. And with Paradise, once I started working on it, realizing what it could be, really sat down and tried to just capture an energy with the lyric that like captured like the frivolousness of my
Mm-hmm.
life, while also appreciating that I have responsibility to myself, to people around me, and trying to make something really beautiful and uplifting that kind of made people feel okay about the reality of maybe never feeling okay, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, there is definitely a feel good factor going on about that track, even
Yeah.
if it's that wee bit deeper. It definitely is. It's more uplifting. It doesn't make you feel sad. It makes you feel
No.
with the fact that it's okay to not always be okay, and that we all
Yeah.
cover things up and mask certain things up, to get on with everyday life. There is something okay about that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I get a bit exhausted, like being on Instagram and seeing people quote like whatever thing about, wake up the next morning and eat an apple and you'll be good, you'll feel
Yeah.
better. I've just never felt better. If that works for you, that's fine. But I just wanted to bring something to the table that maybe appeal to people that feel like me, that look at that kind of stuff and think, how are you so happy? Like, I don't feel that way, but I feel in moment to moment, I can feel happy or sad. But fundamentally, I kind of appreciate that, like my emotions are transient, and I want to make music that appeals to people that are looking for that want something to make them feel happier in the moment, while also not saying, here's a grand statement of how if you do this, your life will be fixed. It's probably never going to happen, but it might. And at the very least, the music will make you feel good in that moment. And I think that that's really important.
It's about being human.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Human
Yeah,
experience.
basically.
Grapefruit Season, album number 5, dropping July 16th. Now,
yeah,
a lockdown album. You've this pretty much recorded. You've been sitting on this a wee while. Is that right?
I would say at this point it's probably like 50-50 lockdown, re-recorded, and I had it finished. I got off a plane from LA 3 weeks before the lockdown. I was probably like a super spreader or something, and I shouldn't even say that, but like I got off a plane, got back to Ireland, was like, I'm done, that's it, the album is finished. And then as this all unfolded, went back and just listened to it again with fresh ears and kind of thought maybe I was getting to that point where I was tired and I was just trying to finish it. So I went back and re-recorded some stuff that was in my head, and then added some songs. I started writing again last summer, and it just made sense to add 3 or 4 more songs to it. And it made it so much better, and so much, like the album as a thing, it made it so much more diverse in a way that it needed to be. So yeah, 50-50, I think.
Yeah,
overall.
it probably kept it more current and relevant to where you're at.
I don't like sitting on things. I don't like the idea of sitting on music. So I was never going to leave it alone. I just don't like when immediacy is everything to me. That's what I'm saying, is like, if I make something, I want it to be heard really quickly, and I've been sitting on this music for long enough, so if I didn't get to add stuff to it, I probably just would have gone a bit crazy.
Yeah, especially in the world we live in now with music. It's instant, isn't it? It's just quick access, instant, next, almost.
Yeah, and I love that, to be honest. I've never been that precious. I put everything I have into making these albums and making these songs, but like I said earlier, there's a transient nature to music that sometimes gets lost, where like we talk about these albums that we love as if they were meant to be heard forever, and they weren't. Music is supposed to fill a void for a minute, and then you move on. And that's for me as well as for you as the listener, whoever it is. Like, I want to make music to capture where I'm feeling right now, and I want to play it to you and sing it to you at a time when it still has that resonance for me, which will be transient. So that's why I love it. I love the idea of music coming out fast, and that's why I get frustrated when I can't. So that's why I'm really hyper to be able to talk and do this again. It feels lovely.
I know, it's amazing. James, thanks so much for the chat this evening. I really enjoyed that. It was really good catching up with you.
Yeah, you too. Absolute pleasure. Yeah.
And good luck for Thursday night. I'm so buzzing for you, and I'm so buzzing for 500 lucky people that managed to get tickets.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but
an absolute moment. It really is. Really is.
I hope so.
Q Radio.